Friends, welcome to episode 49 of the Electric Scooter Podcast. The home, the dome, the Electric Scooter Dome, the Electric Scooter Podcast. Put your feet up. Relax. If you remember last episode, which was episode 48, I was talking about my trip to Ecuador and the three cities we visited: Otavalo, Quito, and Cuenca. I mostly talked about Cuenca, and we're going to continue to discuss Cuenca a little bit, but then I want to talk about Quito a little bit. To bring you up to speed, I was having a conversation with Francisco Castro, who is the CEO, founder, manager, owner of Travelisima, which rents electric scooters in the city of Cuenca, which is a town in the Sierras of Ecuador. Remember, there's three main areas to Ecuador. You have the Amazon, the Sierras, and the coastline. And Cuenca happens to be in the southern part of the country in the Sierras, which means beautiful weather year-round. At least temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s. If that's comfortable for you, which it is for me, great scooting weather. It does rain on and off, but you get used to that, and there's usually thunder to let you know that the rain is about to come down. We were discussing with Francisco what types of scooters he rents and sells. He does sell scooters. And I was surprised to find out that they're reasonably priced in Ecuador, because things like automobiles, cell phones are very expensive. $1,000 cell phone in Ecuador would be $1,500. So why not just take a vacation in Peru, buy a cell phone while you're there? $500 is enough to get to Peru and back and stay in a hotel and have a vacation. So the same thing is basically true for scooters, but what he found out is they have less of an import tax on electric scooters. They're very environmentally conscious, I would say, in the country of Ecuador. And if he bought in gross, that he would get a lower price. So this is a roundabout way of saying that I was happily, pleasantly surprised with the prices of electric scooters, at least at Travelisima. Well, in Quito, too, I can say, because later on I'm going to talk about my experience scooting in Quito. So I think I misspoke and said that he was selling eMove cruisers. He's actually selling eMove touring. More maybe adept at getting around small town areas, and a lot of, wow, the roads are cobblestone there. A lot of them are not, and they do have bike lanes and really nice areas to scoot. Again, I'm talking about Cuenca, but the same can be said of Quito. There are bike lanes and good places to scoot. It is a scooter-friendly place. While we were scooting and Francisco was on an EUC, an electric unicycle, we were having a conversation, not too easy with the traffic noise and all that, and we're wearing helmets. So we're kind of shouting at each other as we're scooting or slowing down or we're at stoplights. And he did mention to me that he's going to bring in the Wolf Warrior. So I kind of let the cat out of the bag last episode. I don't know how many people from Ecuador are listening and what kind of impact that's going to have on the market. I'd say marginal. But if I was in Ecuador, I would wait till he imports some Cabo Wolf Warriors, depending on what you want to do. If you want to go off-road, knobby tires and that kind of thing. If you're street scooting and transportation in town, you might want to go with the eMove Touring. And he expressed a preference for mini motors setup, which I share with him. I do like the mini motors throttle, finger throttle, better than I do the QSS4 and some of the other systems that are out there in thumb throttles. Kim has a pretty nice thumb throttle, but apart from that, there are a couple. Apollo has a couple nice thumb throttles, but I tend to like the finger throttle. I do have both on different scooters, and I prefer the trigger or finger throttle. But that's about where we left off. I spilled the beans that he's going to be getting the Wolf Warrior, and let's pick up the conversation from that point. And what are you looking at selling next? What specific model of scooter do you think Ecuadorians will want?
Yeah, well, at the moment, most of the people are buying like cheapest scooters. And for now, I'm doing very well with the Move Touring, like commercially.
Sure.
It's very good with the Move Touring, but for the next year, I'm starting to plan to buy big scooters like Thunders, like Storm,
Wolf Warrior,
yeah. That was a secret, but nobody in Ecuador knows.
Well, I can't get a handle on actually Ecuadorians and whether they're going to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
But there might be.
They might be,
right?
yeah.
You'll listen to it, right?
Yeah. Now I listen to it.
Okay.
Yesterday I was looking at the YouTube channel, and yesterday I was looking at the podcast too, and I was listening like all the night until 3 a.m. and say, oh, it's time to sleep.
Well, I'm a podcaster, not a YouTube. Yeah. I'm not very popular on YouTube.
Okay.
But I just tell people, if you listen to a podcast, for example, this one, and you're interested in Ecuador, then you can go to my podcast and you can see scooting in Ecuador and that kind of thing. Maybe from talking to you, maybe people will become interested and maybe they'll want to take a vacation here.
Yeah.
Because I recommend, and I will say this, I recommend that you come to Cuenca and you come here and you rent a scooter.
Yeah.
Or if you're retired, if you're American, Canadian, come here and buy your scooter here.
Yeah.
I checked your prices. Your prices are good.
Yeah, I don't know if you check my web.
The website?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Oh yeah. So you should check it.
I'll do that.
Now I'm doing like, I don't know how it calls, like pre-buying or pre-selling some models for
Pre-pagar?
Yeah.
Prepago. Prepago. I see that on the top. Prepago.
So I'm doing that for the next year.
Oh, that's great.
To check how many people. Well, this is not a secret. This is a thing that most of the people here know. Now I'm having pre-order 2 Dualtron X2 and 2 Dualtron Storm.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I happen to think that the scooter I would want in Ecuador would be the Cabo Wolf Warrior with knobby off-road tires, because I think it would handle these cobblestones like nothing, and the sand and dirt. And when you go off to the countryside, if you want to go to Turi or Baños or Cajas.
But I don't know, have you ever tried the mini motors models with that kind of suspension?
I have not.
It's a very good suspension. These work very, very good with that kind of streets.
Yeah.
I don't have now.
Is it 11-inch wheels?
Yeah, no, it's a 10-inch
wheels.
Yeah.
Okay. Wolf Warrior has a 10-inch also,
a
smaller one, but I haven't ridden that one.
Yeah. Well, the Wolf Warrior is a very big model, so.
Yeah.
What I'm doing here is more like telling the people, if you're buying a scooter, you can put in a car, or you can got the scooter to the bus, or maybe in a taxi, because here in Cuenca, the weather is very crazy.
The weather here is great.
I think that for all these days, for you, the days were very good.
Yeah.
Like 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, all the days was like in the morning, sun. At midday, rain. Later, sun.
Well,
Maybe
Quito
rain.
and Otavalo is
Yeah.
rain every day.
Yeah.
Always the same time. It seems like about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
You hear the thunder, boom, and then everybody starts running.
Same case here. in
Really?
Cuenca, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
But it's okay. I
yeah,
like it.
Yeah. But the thing is, like with the scooters, I have to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with scooter, if it is raining, you can go to a bus and you can put the scooter in a car.
Yeah.
And
There are
maybe-
some scooters though that are good for the rain. There's a few of them.
Most of the scooters, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, my technique says me that okay, if it is raining,
Get out.
Get
It's-
out.
It's
the rain.
better.
Yeah.
Better to be safe.
Yeah, the better idea to be safe.
Yeah. Some of them, Unagi, there's a few of them. I can't remember all of them. Wolf Warrior, I would say no.
Yeah.
Because my deck plate is warped. I shined a light on this side,
Yeah.
and I can see through it. I can see the light on the other
Yeah.
side. So definitely not
Yeah, well,
good
the,
in the
the
water.
better scooters for the water that I know is the 9-bot Max, the MF Cruiser, and mini motors with modifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a scooter rental shop, I know I would use 9-bot Max.
Yeah,
They're just simpler and they last longer. They're not the most rugged or the coolest looking.
I'm
but-
planning for the next year, maybe the mid of the next year, change the float of the scooters.
The Electric Scooter Podcast. The only podcast scientifically proven to make you smarter, better looking, a better dancer, and extremely attractive. Don't argue with science.
So as everybody knows, the Electric Scooter Podcast is mainly concerned with scooter lifestyle and having fun. Other people want to save the planet, that's great, and I'm really glad that scooters happen to be good for the environment. If they were bad for the environment, I'd still ride them because they're fun. I ride motorcycles and cars, and they're bad for the environment.
Yeah.
But there's also a component of scootering and worldwide scootering, and that is the business side. And I know every business in the world was affected by the pandemic. How did it affect you?
Well, my business just started before the pandemic, right? Just in
Yeah.
February from the year of the pandemic, and I started to sell a lot of scooters at that time. And the reason was because we had a lot of restrictions here, like no one's could go around on the cars or in the motorcycles, so they was looking the way to go around the city. So they found like the scooters like the best way to go around the city at that time. After the pandemic, I could say now after the pandemic, because now here's like all this like normal, like not so normal sometimes, but well, after the pandemic the business go down very much.
Yeah.
And but well, the sellers increase, all the sellers increase, all the models, all the scooters. So now I have more competition, but I could say that I have very good products, very good warranty at very good prices. So I'm not afraid about my competition. Maybe I have, oh no, I'm sure that I have big competition. Stores that are very big, the stores, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of sellers.
But big stores don't sell scooters, right?
There are some big stores that sell scooters, but they sell only like small scooters, selling like, offering like cars. Like they are selling, this scooter in 300, you can go on these scooters the whole day.
And the customer will be disappointed,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah. So I prefer, how I say to all my clients, I prefer have 10 good and happy clients than 100 clients angry with me and calling me all the time.
Right. Because the money is just short time.
Yeah.
You want your customers to return to you.
And I live here, I have a lot of friends here, and they can trust in me all the time. Not only with the scooters, the scooters is like my hobby. My store scooters is like a hobby. Really, I'm an accountant, and I work doing accountant for some companies.
You do consulting?
I'm
really?
consulting and auditing.
Oh, okay.
So
Is it mostly online or in an office?
Mostly online. Yeah.
Oh, that's why you can run this business.
That's why I can run this, like the tourism business and the store of scooters.
Okay.
And I work here in this office, like doing all the stuff on of the other companies, and I work at the companies, like doing visitings to them to consult.
Okay. Wow, that's fascinating. We started to talk a couple minutes ago about Galapagos, and you just got back from Galapagos. Did you see a lot of scooters there? Did you see one wheels? What was your experience in Galapagos? How many days were you there?
I went to Galapagos 7 days. I went most for work there to check more contacts and companies and hotels to work with them, to send people here from my city to Galapagos. But when I went there, I was looking for people that have scooters or wheels, and I found a guy who is a technique of scooters like City Coco. I don't know if you watch them.
Yes, I've heard of. They have the big fat wheels.
Yeah, big fat wheels. That City Coco scooters are very famous here in Ecuador.
Are they made in India?
I think that in China.
Is it China also? They're popular in India, so I thought maybe they were made there.
No. Most of the products here in Ecuador are from China. And that product, like City Cocos or copy of City Cocos, are from China. They are very popular in Quito, in Galapagos, Guayaquil. Here in Cuenca, not too much. But
did you ride one in Galapagos?
No, I didn't ride one.
I wonder how they do on the sand, because they have the big fat wheels. I wonder if they're good for the beach.
Maybe it should be, but any electric vehicle is good on the beach, by the water and by the sun. Yeah. So we have some scooters on our technique that have problems with the salt.
Right, that's true. Yeah, salt water, salt air, and electronics don't mix. I'm from Hawaii.
Yeah.
So when we buy stereo components or televisions, nothing lasts as long. Just because, and we know that. So you buy it, if it lasts 10 years, in Hawaii maybe 5 years, and then you get a new one.
But well, the thing in Galapagos is that I found a lot of City Cocos scooters there around. Like the people bought them on the pandemic by the restriction of mobility too. And I only found one wheel and one EUC, and any scooter of like our type of scooters.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw no scooters at all?
No scooters, yeah. I didn't see any scooter.
Wow.
And I was looking for scooters and I couldn't find any.
That's terrible. Well, that's a market for you. There's an open market for you right there. Yeah.
And maybe I will start to offer into Galapagos like in the same price. Like I will cover the transportation and all.
I know.
It's a very good market because
tourists, when they go to Galapagos, they cannot drive cars, right?
Yeah.
So my world is scooters, but I know if people go to Galapagos, one of the things they're going to look for is a scooter.
Yeah.
So that looks like a big hole in the market right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you could make some money there.
Yeah. I was thinking about it too.
Open up a shop.
Yeah. But the thing is that in Galapagos, you only can open a store or open a business if you are from there. Yeah.
They have a lot of very strict rules in Galapagos about animals, about everything. About vehicles.
It's a very nice place. I never have been there, and I just went there.
That was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Wow.
And now look at like a very nice place that we have here in Ecuador. I think that all the people in Ecuador have to go to.
It's like Hawaii. It's your Hawaii.
I like the weather and like the songs have to be similar, but like the places or like the houses is not have to be the same.
Be different. Yeah. But I've heard that it's more expensive in Galapagos.
I need to break in here for a second because I'm about to use the word almuerzo. Almuerzo, I think technically means lunch, but all over Ecuador you can get in these little shops that they also use the word almuerzo. This place is an almuerzo where you go buy your almuerzo. Almuerzo. Typically in Quito and Cuenca, it's between $2 and $3, and you get a starch like a rice. Plus, you usually get a potato, and you get a meat, and you get a juice and a water and a small type of salad for between $2 and $3. So when I'm comparing the price of Muerzo on mainland Ecuador to Galapagos, that's what I mean. The word is Muerzo.
Yeah,
For example, how much is like Muerzo? Here is 225 or 250
here's
for
25
Muerzo.
or 250, and there is like 5 or 7.
So prices there are maybe double?
Yeah, most of the things are in double price.
Wow.
But also the rents or the salary of the person is like also
It is
double.
also
Yeah.
double.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to talk about or anything you want to say? Welcome people to come here, or any opinions you have, or anything you want to sell, or websites or anything?
I don't know. If you want, you can check my website. You will see all of my new products that for next year, and also that maybe all the people that listen this podcast could come here to Cuenca to visit us and maybe to check the city. This city have a very good point of view of the people that is retired of their work.
Oh yeah, it's a great place to retire.
Yeah, a few years ago was qualified like the first place for
Oh yeah,
for
ranked
retire.
number 1, right? Yeah.
So it's a
And-
very nice place to came to live like as a retired and maybe to buy a scooter.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And what's your website? Is it Travelisima?
No, the web page to the sale scooters is School Store.
So spell it.
Yeah, SCOOSTORE.
.com or
Dot
dot,
com.
is there a .ec for Ecuador
No,
or anything?
only dot
Just
com.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schoolstore.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, like,
There he goes, Francisco Castro. What a great guy. It was such a pleasure getting to know him, and he was so hospitable, and like all the Ecuadorian people I met, he was just a really nice guy. Met me on his electric unicycle and showed me around the town. And if you do go to Cuenca, and I recommend that you do, look up Travelisima. It's right around the corner from the 10 de Agosto Mercado, which is the 10th of August market. A big, giant open market, which that place is a trip worth making in itself. As always, I'm not a great YouTuber, but if you would like to see the market, if you'd like to see my scoot with Francisco, go ahead and go to YouTube. Go to the Dagwood Streets channel and check out some of the videos I made of Cuenca and the other parts of Ecuador. Speaking of which, I want to say a few things about Quito. Remember, I went to 3 cities, Otavalo, which was wonderful and amazing, and I highly recommend, but there are no scooters and no places to rent scooters. And I went to Quito second after Otavalo, and then I went to Cuenca. Then I came back to Quito again for another week. And speaking of the hospitality of Ecuadorian people, when I was in Quito, I met a man by the name of David Noriega, who himself is quite an entrepreneur. He used to have a scooter store, and I think the pandemic caused him to move into a different business, which is vape and vaping. The name of his store is Vapor, Vapor, Vapor e-cigarettes. And he still has a lot of friends in the scooting community. If you're in Quito, if you're in Ecuador and you're in Quito and you need vape, yeah, it's legal there. And he can get high quality vapes for you at a really good price. But he still has friends in the scooter world, of course. And there is a beautiful store in Quito called Vortex. Everybody there was super cool. They let me test out one of their scooters downtown Quito. We went through good areas. We went through not so good areas. We went through parks. You'll see in the video, it's a lot of fun. The company Vortex mainly deals with the types of scooters that you can sit on. They're electric scooters. They're like those Coco big fat ones, but they have smaller ones also that are regular scooters like you and I are used to, but they do have a seat on them. And it was kind of different for them for somebody to request to take the seat off. So the shop just let David handle it. So David got the tools and removed the seat for me, and that way I was able to cruise in the manner that I am accustomed. So check out, I guess the whole name of the store is Vapor Cigarrillos Electrónicos Vape Shop. It's in the Mariscal area of Quito, and if you fly into Quito, which you will if you're flying in internationally, you're going to fly into Quito. It's the capital. The area of Quito known as Mariscal, that's where a lot of the nightclubs and restaurants, a lot of foreigners hang out there. So some people even call it Gringolandia. And it's just crammed with bars and restaurants. I recommend if you stay there in Quito that you stay in Mariscal. There's a great German beer house called Cherusker. There, you can get good barbecue. You can get good cocktails. Everything's a walking distance. It's safe. That is the Mariscal, Mariscal area of Quito. I stayed for a couple weeks in Centro Histórico, which is the Central Historic, surprisingly enough, district, which is beautiful. The architecture is amazing. There's a lot of things to see down there. But don't go out at night after 7 o'clock. It's not safe. But I can tell you, in the Mariscal area, you are safe. So once again, I just want to give you the option. If you want to see what it's like to scoot in Cuenca, check out the Dagwood Streets YouTube channel. And you'll also see my tour of Vortex scooters. I didn't interview anybody there at Vortex. I mainly spoke in my limited Spanish. I can get by in Spanish, but I'm not really great. And nobody there was really anxious to give an interview in English. And I didn't give them a lot of time to prepare or anything. And like I said, most of their scooters are, like Francisco Castro of Travelisima earlier mentioned, popular in Quito. They're big. They look like choppers. They look like big scooters, big fat tire scooters that are almost like motorcycles. And they're really cool looking. Again, go to my YouTube channel, and if you're curious, see how they look. Some of them are really cool. I would be proud to own a motorcycle that looks like a lot of those scooters. They have some very innovative designs. To wrap up my scoot venture in Ecuador, I'd just like to mention a couple things. Number one, thanks to David Noriega and Francisco Castro. Just a couple cool cats. I mean, what can you say about people like that? They're really, really awesome. If you go to Ecuador, you're going to meet people like them. They're just wonderful, wonderful people. And as far as the scoot scene, it's 35 cents to get anywhere in the city, whether it's Cuenca or Quito or Otavalo. You can go end to end for 35 cents. While I was there was some strikes. There was some strife and protests and marching. Friendly. There wasn't any violence or anything, but there was some kind of price hike that the drivers wanted in order to increase their paycheck, and the typical passengers, the populace, was really unhappy with paying a little extra money. So I'm just saying it's really cheap to get around in Ecuador, so that doesn't make people say, hey, I'll get a scooter to avoid paying 35 cents. And remember, when I say cents, I mean United States currency. So all the prices I'm talking about, the almuerzo or the lunches being $3 or $2.50, That's all in U.S. cents. Other thing I wanted to mention was I kind of wanted to apologize for the background noise with the Travelisima interview with Francisco Castro, because that's just the way the neighborhoods are. They're right next to the front door is the sidewalk, and right next to the sidewalk is a street and traffic going by. And I was recording on a video camera. I didn't bring my podcast set up. You fly in internationally to Quito, and when you go to other cities, you arrange your flights. And I'm a cheapskate, so I was only allowed to carry on. I didn't bring my podcast equipment because I didn't think I was going to be interviewing anyone. And I stumbled upon Travelisima, and the rest you heard in the last podcast, episode 48, and this podcast, episode 49. I also wanted to point out that, or reiterate, that you can purchase electric scooters for about the same amount of money you'd pay in the United States. Probably similar to England, Australia, and Canada. For example, I talked to a person who had an Inokim OXO, which is on my radar as a scooter that I like. It's got a lot of innovations, and it was $2,400 is what he paid. And I think that's about what it is in the U.S. There were rental scooters, the type you can just swipe your credit card and go. I don't particularly like those. But if you're in Quito, check out the guys at Vortex. If you're in Cuenca, check out Travelisima. And I do recommend Ecuador as a place to vacation. It might not be on your radar. I can't tell you how many people ask me, why Ecuador? Why would you choose Ecuador? Well, beautiful weather, low prices, beautiful people, stunning scenery. When you drive from city to city, you look out your window, you're looking at jungle and waterfalls and streams and rivers. Cuenca alone has 4 fairly mighty, not mighty like the Mississippi, but rivers with rapids running through the city, straight through the city. It's just beautiful. And I love scooting next to running water and over bridges. And where you got rivers in a city, you're going to have bridges. It's really cool. I just highly recommend it. I've been to a lot of countries. Some of my favorites are Portugal and Thailand, Poland. But if Ecuador is not on your radar, put it on your radar. Check it out. And speaking of checking out, here ends another episode of the Electric Scooter Podcast. So until next time, please keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down.